Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juices pumping, boys.
Saturday mornings, Crunch Time Sports. Look, we got an unfamiliar face in the building today. Mr. Jeff Iafrate is with us today. Jeff, what's going on, my man?
You know what? I'm honored. I'm honored to be on the program. I am honored that we will get to do something very special today. We will get to discuss something that we've been urged, really, honestly, pushing to discuss. This is urgent.
Yeah.
And it's the Mount Rushmore of Johns, which we will get to, the John draft. I'm excited for Caleb. Great show planned for today. Let's go, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're obviously going to get into the Tigers trade deadline. We'll get into that in a second. We're going to get into some lines preseason as well. But yeah, the draft of Johns. Look, kind of the backstory behind that. I've been hopping on Fridays with the fellas doing some Mount Rushmore. And, there's plenty of things you could do a Mount Rushmore of. And kind of the first thing that came to my mind when Boone was asking us for ideas was Johns. I mean, Jeff, there are 7, and Boone didn't like the idea. There are 7 million Johns on this planet. And you do a draft of them and you kind of figure out where these Johns stack up. I think we're the rightful people to do that. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. You're not wrong. There's, you know how when a draft happens, like I think it was like they had drafts like this recently in the NFL where it's like there's so many top picks, it's like we don't know what's gonna happen. This is like I think this is that type of draft for Johns. Like there's so like you could have. I mean, John F. Kennedy could go first. You know, John Travolta, John Stamos, John Matthew Stafford. You know, there's another one. I mean,
you're giving away picks now. You're giving away picks.
I'm just saying, I got a board. I got a board of a lot of Johns. I haven't gotten through half the list. I mean, there's a lot more Johns here.
I got myself a little draft board here. Boone says, shout out Boone in the chat. This is a weird hill to die on. Is Caleb dating a John? Is his second question. That's a remarkably crazy question to ask your friend. But, yeah, Stack show today. Jeff, again, thank you for coming on. Our guy, Michael Gentry. I don't even know. He has
AIDS. Yeah. Okay. That's not. I was joking.
Oh, no,
he has. No, he doesn't. He has. I think he looks like he got punched in the eye.
Yeah.
I think he got jumped. Actually, I don't know what happened. He's doing all right. He's good. His eyeball is like swollen, so he's on IR for today. So
yeah, but
does not have AIDS. He does not have AIDS.
He does not have AIDS. Confirmed. Does not have AIDS.
He doesn't. I take that back.
But Jeff, I want to get right into it with the Tigers trade deadline. Hopped on the show yesterday, talked about it a little bit. So if you guys tune into that, shout out for supporting the boys. But look, that was a pretty ironic game yesterday. They played. The bullpen totally falls apart in the eighth and ninth inning, and the bullpen is something that for a long time we've been saying this needs to be fixed. This needs to be fixed. Or you're not going to go deep into the playoffs, and it kind of happened last night. It's very, very ironic. I'll just say this about the trade deadline, and I said this yesterday. You didn't lose a trade. Scott Harris and the Detroit Tigers did not lose a trade at the trade deadline. They essentially gave up nothing for Paul Sewald, Rafael Montero, Kyle Finnegan, and Charlie Morton, who Charlie Morton will get into a sec because that is, I think, a ridiculous trade. But you made no needle-moving move when you're the best team in baseball. I haven't seen, Jeff, a team have 64 wins in August and approach a deadline like the Tigers did. And I can understand. You don't want to trade one of your top 5 guys. Absolutely. Briseño, McGonigal, Clark, they're off the table. Lorenzo, even, he's in your top 5. But there's guys that left. There's guys that after this trade deadline, I am shocked are still in the organization. And I brought this up yesterday on the show. We had some Wi-Fi problems. I don't know if the chat got to hear this, but guys like Max Anderson, guys like Hao Yu Lee, guys like Jace Young, Justin Henry Malloy, who they've been, I'm not sure why they haven't called him up after some of these injuries we've had. I'm surprised we didn't see any of them floated in any trade talks. Instead, they gave up nickels and dimes for essentially nickels and dimes. Paul Sewell, the guy that is 35 years old, who's not going to play until September 10th, Jeff, at the earliest.
Yeah.
Rafael Montero, who hasn't been good in years, who can't throw strikes. Kyle Finnegan, who sure, yes, I think Kyle Finnegan is going to be a really big part of this bullpen down the stretch. I like that move. But we saw yesterday, AJ Hinch didn't use him in the 8th and 9th inning. So how do you think he feels about Kyle Finnegan? And then Charlie Morton, Jeff. Let me give you a little backstory. It's 5:59. I take off work on Thursday night because I'm excited to see what Scott Harris and company does. 5:59, trade deadline's about to end. And I get a notification. John Hyman covers MLB baseball. The Tigers are in a strong push for a starting pitcher. I smiled, physically smiled on my face, said this is the big move that's going to turn the tide about how everybody feels about how this trade deadline went down. 41-year-old Charlie Morton with a 5.42 ERA. And that's not an inflated 5.42. He's having a bad year. I mean, by every metric you look at it, Charlie Morton is having a bad year. And I see Crazy Clown in the chat. Charlie Morton has been a winner for a long time and has been on a tear lately. I'm good with him. No, I am not okay with Charlie Morton. If that's your prized move, Charlie Morton and Kyle Finnegan, that's not a great trade deadline at all. I was very disappointed. Jeff, just seeing that the Tigers are first place in the AL Central, 64 wins, have an opportunity to really put themselves with the upper echelon of these teams, with the Yankees, Dodgers, all these teams.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the Tigers approached this trade deadline the wrong way or weren't aggressive enough?
Well, there's when you look at it right or wrong, there's what the fans want and there's what Scott Harris thinks this team is. And we talked about this yesterday. I think the fans assume, and like kind of what you said, best record in baseball, you assume they're going to kind of push their chips in and be aggressive. Me and Boone talked about their World Series chances weeks and weeks ago before the 10-game losing stretch. And we debated that. It's like, are they a World Series team? Do they have enough? When it gets to the postseason, can they hang with the Dodgers, right? And now that they went through the stretch they went through, it seems like, right, like the fans wanted them to be aggressive, but I think Scott Harris, what happened essentially is, hey, we're going to get better, but we're not going to sacrifice pretty much anything from our farm system, because when he spoke to the media, he was pretty clear. It's like, hey, we have, if not the best farm system in baseball. We think we'll be good long-term. And we don't want to, I think the quote, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something along the lines of, if we were to make a big move, we would essentially regret it. And so right or wrong, right, I agree with you. I think they should have been more aggressive. You made a great point yesterday. It's like you're basically wasting a year with Skubal, especially you got a year and a half left with them. So I agree. I think Scott Harris should have been more aggressive. But this seems like a common theme in Detroit right now. Like the Pistons are kind of doing the same thing where it's like, hey, we like our young core. Yeah, we're going to add pieces, but we're not going to make any massive moves that the fans want, because I don't know if it's you're scared of risk. I don't know if it's being kind of a younger, newer GM where you're kind of scared to make a massive move like that. But yeah, like I agree with you 1,000%. It's like they do have a nice farm system, the best farm system in baseball, but at the end of the day, dude, if you're as good as the Tigers are record-wise, and you feel, hey, we have the best pitcher in baseball, you think like push your chips in, see what you can do. They went on a postseason run last year. They won a playoff series, but like this is the progression, right? Like this year, you're expecting, okay, World Series appearance. Like, can we hang with some of these better teams? And I think what Scott Harris did is essentially admit, like, we're not there yet. So, which is disappointing.
Yeah, it's disappointing. And Jeff, we talked about this yesterday. I think that is an unfair evaluation by Scott Harris of this baseball team, if that's how he feels. So if not now, when are you going to be aggressive at these trade deadlines? Because you're going to have to do it at some point.
Right.
Is it going to be when McGonigal, Clark, Briseno, and all these guys are up and performing? Because that's in what, Jeff? I mean, you might see McGonigal this year. That might be next year. So, or maybe the year after. So we're going to have to wait till then. And you bring up Skubal, and we'll get to Skubal in a second because Scott Harris did make some comments about the Tarek Skubal extension. It's looking like you have Skubal for 1.5 years. Right. He's going to go into the open market and he's going to get $1 bazillion, which I'm not 100% sure that Chris Ilitch is going to be willing to put forth that money. So while you have the best pitcher in baseball and have a window with him, why are you not putting the piece around him to give your team a chance to really make a push this season and next season? I mean, Jeff, I'm looking at these guys the Tigers traded for. There's a chance that we might not see these guys, and not one of these guys, in an important high-leverage situation. That is, Paul Sewald, like I said, might not. The earliest he's going to come back is September 10th. Rafael Montero can't. He hasn't been good in years, guys. Rafael Montero. He doesn't throw strikes, which is odd because our whole thing is controlling the strike zone. Rafael Montero doesn't fit what the Tigers want to do. And Charlie Morton is 65 years old and is not good this year. Like I've seen a couple people say the ERA is inflated and all this stuff. No, I mean, as of late, he has not been good. That's the whole year. Couple chats in here. I think we got a Steve Lehman, $10. Shout out Steve Lehman. This team is significantly above mid, but not elite tier. Yeah, some teams passed you. Some teams definitely passed you up at the trade deadline. I mean, you look at the Yankees, they brought in Camilo Duvall. Look, I know about that start. I know about their pitching yesterday. That was horrendous. They used other new guys, and they blew a ginormous lead. But you know what you're going to – Duvall's a great pitcher, and Bednar's a great pitcher. And I have it right here. This is what I hate to compare farm systems. The Yankees gave up their 8th prospect, their 14th prospect, and Brian Sanchez for David Bednar. I think we could have done something similar to that. For Jake Bird, Rock Biggio, number 10, and Ben Shields, number 28. Camilo Duvall, Yankees, number 19, and Jesus Rodriguez, Yankees, number 25. Tigers couldn't have done something like that. They couldn't have matched anything like that. And again, I want to preface this. Scott Harris deserves credit where it's due. He's done a phenomenal job building up this farm system, if not the best farm system in all of baseball. But you have to add these complementary pieces with these young guys. He did a pretty good job of that in the offseason, bringing in Gleyber Torres, bringing back Jack Flaherty. But at these trade deadlines, in some cases, this is where the season's won and lost, is the trade deadline. And I don't think they did a good enough job. Let's see some other chats here. Brown Coat. At this point, if you're a Detroit team, if you're a fan of a Detroit team and you think they're going to make serious moves on the trade market, it's your fault for being upset when they don't. Well, the Lions and the Pistons both did more.
No, yeah. It's a common theme in Detroit in general, too.
It is. Yeah.
I think it's more about, too, I think it's like a standard among like different markets. I mean, you talk about like New York or LA, there's just inherently a different standard in those cities. Like they look at being aggressive, pushing your chips all in. Like they expect championships. They expect World Series. Like that's what those cities expect in sports. And with all due respect, love Detroit sports. It's a little different here. Obviously the Pistons haven't won in a while. It hasn't been hockey town in a little bit of time, and the Lions are just getting relevant, and the Tigers, it's been a good amount of time as well. There's just a different, I think there's a little more definitely more patience in Detroit. I've noticed a common theme there among the different teams. It's like, hey, we're going to play this thing out. We're going to play the long game, be a little more patient, grow from within. And then there's other bigger markets that are able just to be like, hey, fuck it. We're going to be aggressive and try and win championships, and it's just not what Detroit does. The Lions are the closest, but yeah, trade deadlines among all teams or off seasons has just not really that aggressive. They've never really been, to be honest. Well, I think the last big trade in Detroit was Blake Griffin.
Yeah,
Like,
Blake Griffin
that was
probably
like the
last-
biggest move. I mean, say what you want about the move itself, but yeah, that was like the last big acquisition, to be honest with you.
I mean, Za'Darius is definitely up there for biggest.
Yeah,
moves.
Za'Darius
That's the
is a
Detroit
good one.
team
Sucks
has
the
made,
whole
but yeah.
team was dead, but
Yeah.
it was still a move.
Is it a coincidence to you, Jeff? And I brought this up yesterday because I will say this as well. This might not be all Scott Harris. This could be on Chris Ilitch saying, look, I don't want guys we're going to have to bring in and then potentially pay. I don't want to bring in guys already on a big contract because I don't want to pay these guys. Is it kind of a coincidence that the Wings didn't do shit at the deadline when they probably should have? And the Tigers also didn't do anything, both teams owned by Chris Ilitch? Or is that just an odd coincidence?
Oh my god! Well, by the way,
Steve Lehman
dropped an absolute 50 bomb. Steve Lehman, my
what a guy! What a guy!
He said, "I haven't dropped some coin on your boys lately. Here's a donation for you, Steve. We appreciate the hell out of you, man. Thank you so much for that." Also, real quick, J Rod, he's a member. He said it's Saturday J Rod show. Appreciate that, J Rod. Steve Lehman, Charlie Moe is a grandpa. Thanks for the membership there. Boone says the Charlie Moe show. So shout out to the Boone as Charlie well for Moe. That. But yeah, I think what you're saying. So what you're saying is, since the owner of both franchises is a cheap ass, does that hinder their ability to be aggressive? I think it's probably more relevant in baseball. I think Scott Harris probably deals with that more. I think both GMs probably do, but I think Scott probably deals with it more because they can't. You don't have the ability to be like, hey, whip the checkbook out. Let's give Scooble $1 billion, or let's extend these guys and be aggressive and give these guys a bunch of money. So yeah, I think that definitely plays into it. It's just you don't really have a choice at this point. I mean, I think there's different reasons though with the Wings. Like I'm not letting Stevie Y get out of it. He ain't getting out unscathed. I mean, he definitely. We can blame Chris Ilitch. I know hey. Gentry, we can blame Chris Ilitch. We can blame Daddy all you want, but it has to do with Stevie Y as well. All right, you gotta. It's like you poke him, do something like that's Stevie Y. Scott, I think Scott Harris a little different because baseball doesn't have like a salary cap, so he probably deals with it more. But yeah, it definitely plays a part, right?
I think I think in some ways it does. Like I said, if Chris Ilitch, we bring in a guy that we could potentially re-sign, I don't think Chris Ilitch would want to do that. Blah, blah, blah. I see another chat here asking about Alex Cobb. Look, I will pull up this article in a second.
Did Alex Cobb die? Oh my God.
Well, Alex Cobb, look, I've seen some things floating around him because he did come out and say, look, I'm really trying my best. I want to fulfill this $15 million contract that the Tigers gave me. Guys, he's just hurt and old. Like I don't think we're not gonna see Alex Cobb maybe ever pitch for a major league team for the rest of his career. And yeah, it's very frustrating, but you got to feel for the guy because at least he's trying. At least he's not just hanging up the cleats. He's going to pitch in low A West Michigan to try to rehabilitate. But I don't know. I don't think we see Alex Cobb in a Tigers uniform. I think that's pretty safe to say, but I do want to show this video of Scott Harris. Shout out Nicholas Koloff, our guy, Microwave Nick. Some comments from Scott Harris after the trade deadline.
The moves we passed on felt like moves that were going to haunt us for many years to come. We have what we think is one of the best, if not the best, farm system in all of baseball, and that means we got really good players coming. We got really good players that are going to be fan favorites that are going to be playing at Comerica Park for many years and helping us win a lot of games. And some of those guys are going to get there this year. And we felt like at this moment in time in this organization, giving up on young players to chase short-term fixes for this organization is not in the best interest of the Tigers, both in the short and long term. I will say that a lot.
So. Can I let me bring this up too? Because I think Scott Harris is a bright dude. He's a very bright guy. He is obviously taking a massive risk with this approach because I understand from a GM's point, like you have conviction in the talent you scout, the talent you find, and he obviously is a good talent evaluator. So you're willing to give those guys a little bit of trust. But when you say things like, we can't chase short-term fixes. Like you don't even know if you have long-term fixes. I mean, there's uncertainty there. You have promise in players, but it's not a guarantee that players you have that you're not willing to trade away or move are long-term fixes. You're basically holding on to more unknown quantities as opposed to getting known quantities. Like, what Suarez brings to the table, what these guys bring. It is a risk, but it's like, it's one of those things where if we fast forward 2 years from now, this could age really well, but 3 years from now. But there also is the flip side of, like, it is a massive risk because we could look back at this trade deadline and be like, you fumbled that really bad.
I mean, yeah, I think that's a great point. I think we might look back at it and say, wow, what a failed opportunity. When we had an opportunity with prospects out the wazoo, Jeff, and I'm not even talking about just the top 5 guys. Those top 5 guys, whatever. Maybe outside of Lorenzo, I maybe might have moved for someone just because of how Dylan Dingler's playing and the rise of Jose Preseason. But I'm not even talking about the top 5 guys. McGonagall's untouchable. McGonagall is the best hitting prospect in the minor leagues. You do not trade that guy. You don't trade a guy like Kevin McGonigal. Max Clark, you're looking at Corbin Carroll, maybe even better 2.0. That's a guy you don't trade. Jose Preseason, one of the best hitters in the farm system. You don't trade those guys. Bryce Rayner, you don't trade those guys.
Right.
But outside of that top 5, what is his... I just don't understand. I don't understand these. If we're talking about 5 through 15, these prospects right here, 5 through 15, are all those guys going to be in a Tigers uniform? You think? Are all those guys going to be productive players in a Tigers uniform? No, that's just you're not going to go 100%. And this would be the year to move on from some of those guys. You have one of the best records in baseball, and you just needed You needed a jolt. You needed something. And you brought in 35-year-old Paul Sewald, who is hurt. And you brought in Charlie Morton, who's on a walker, who's walking with a walker right now. He's 41. Rafael Montero. I mean, I just don't understand it, guys. I don't understand it. And I said this yesterday. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I get it. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. You guys can say in the chat. I've seen a lot of different opinions on Twitter where you guys could say, let's just see how these arms play out. Let's see what kind of high leverage innings they play. Good that, you're happy that we didn't get rid of some of our prospects. But guys, if not now, when?
When?
If not now, like that's just something I don't understand with this trade deadline, because the Tigers, this team has shown Scott Harris everything that they needed to show him, that we are ready to go. We have 64 wins at the beginning of August. We have a 10-game lead in the Central. And this isn't even about the Central. This is about winning a pennant in the American League. And they showed you everything, that they're ready to go. And you brought in my opinion, one guy in Kyle Finnegan that's going to make an impact on this team. Man, it's disappointing because I was really looking forward to that trade deadline yesterday because, look, I'm not asking for Shohei Ohtani. I'm not asking for these guys, but I'm asking for something better than Kyle Finnegan.
Well, you were asking for 7 guys and you got 5.
And I got 5.
It just wasn't the quality in which you initially thought. It's just not.
No, it was definitely quantity over quality.
Well, that's like it's like the farms that you want to prioritize the quality, and if you have if now Scott Harris believes he probably has quantity and quality, but you mentioned the quality prospects. Okay, you have quality. Now, when you look at the quantity, there are some guys that you can move away from. You can part away with, and still have some very talented players that are going to help your ball club for a while. So. He obviously has conviction that he's got quality and quantity in the farm system. He's got dudes. That's what he believes.
And I want to get to this comment right here from Phil. No, don't mortgage the future for an unsure present. The future is Kevin McGonigal, Max. I've said this 100 times. The future is Kevin McGonigal, Max Clark, Preseason, those guys. Mm-hmm. They didn't trade anybody in like their top 15. Like, that's not mortgaging your future. The Yankees didn't mortgage their future, and they brought in Camilo Duvall and David Bednar. And they didn't mortgage your future. You could have gotten better value or more quality of players with giving up really nothing. Again, you have the best farm system in baseball. Your farm system is deep. And I haven't even brought up, guys, and I think someone brought it up here. I haven't even brought up guys like Jace Young and Justin Henry Malloy yet. Like guys like that could have been on the trade market for these teams. Like, I don't know. Right now, Jeff, I do want to get to one more thing on the Tigers. I do want to get to this right here. Evan Petzold from the Free Press did come out with an article kind of talking about Tarek Skubal and that situation right there. And honestly, a little bit of a strange answer here, but it's a tough question to be asked at this point. Again, shout out Evan Petzold for this. Yeah, he said, I like this idea of a window. He was asked about the Tarek Skubal window, and he says, a window is an illusion. I think there's a lot of talent in this organization. There are a lot of players on this team who are in it for the right reasons, who are playing for each other, and they're playing for the city of Detroit. They've done some special things from All-Star break to All-Star break. We have the most wins in Major League Baseball. Tarek Skubal is certainly leading the way, and he has been leading the way here, but there are a lot of really talented players both in the big leagues right now, and there are players coming in this really talented system. There's of course, he had to bring up the farm system and so on and so forth. Now, why couldn't you just say we're trying to get a deal done with Skubal? Like, why was that not mentioned one time? That's where my confidence level of us bringing back Tarek Skubal has become pretty low. Honestly. I mean, once he hits that open market, I don't know what's going to happen, Jeff. I have no clue what's going to happen.
Well, you definitely don't want to get in a bidding war.
No.
I will tell you that. He's probably going to make what annually? Probably
50.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, I'm looking at the highest paid pitchers. He's definitely going to make 50. 50 million a year. I mean, Chris Ilitch opened up that checkbook, 50 mil a year. He's worth every penny. But you don't want to let that man hit the open market. You don't. No. Because, okay, you give him 50, there's a team that'll give him 55, 60 and have no problem doing it either. So, it's that's probably one of the scariest storylines for the Tigers is like over the next 2 years, like a year and a half, whatever it is. What happens with Tarek Skubal? Because that could alter that's going to hurt a lot, a ton. And he loves it here too.
He loves it here.
His agent, he's gotten guys paid. Okay?
Yeah.
He's gotten guys paid. He's going to make sure Skubal gets a lot of fucking money. A lot of money.
How do you feel about the term kind of a Skubal window? Like this 1.5 years left of Tarek Skubal. Do you think that's a pretty valid question to ask, or kind of a valid way to phrase that? A Skubal window?
Yeah, I do. Because I don't have confidence even he comes back. So I think you have to look at it like a window. You have the best pitcher in baseball. And the way, especially how the postseason went last year, like how important he was and is. Like think about that. They they lose 11 games, and the only game they won was with Skubal starting. So, it's not a question. And although we love what they have in the farm system, you know what Skubal is right now. So, I agree there's a window. I don't see why anyone would think otherwise. Like, unless you know something I don't, and you think that Chris Ilitch is going to pay this man every penny he's worth, which there's nothing to lead me that he will. So, I think there is a Skubal window, and that's why off seasons and trade deadlines, man, it gets disappointing because Scott Harris, you want to play the patient game, the long game, but you don't have a lot of time. You don't with Skubal the way he's playing right now too. Like he's playing at a high level. So I agree. There's a window, and it's not that long. Big picture wise, it's really not.
Yeah, and again, I think that's I think that's a good question that was asked. I'm not 100% sure who asked that question, but again, like that. To Scott Harris is kind of to cut him some slack. That is a a tough question to ask, especially right after the trade deadline, and you have a guy in Tarik Skubal that needs to be paid. That is a tough question to ask, but I mean, it is.
That's got to be by the way, that's got to be the biggest. That's got to be the biggest task Scott Harris has had, like by far so far. Like the biggest, I guess, pressure situation is like what happens with Tarik Skubal.
Because he might be battling. Because he wants to bring Skubal back.
Absolutely,
but he's battling, Chris Ilitch as well. So it should be easy. It should be easy. Hand him over the checkbook. But it's not going to be that way. So I don't know. That's Tigers trade deadline. If you guys have any more thoughts on it, we'll probably get to it at the end of the show if we have some time. But kind of just to wrap things up, man, I'm not happy with the way the Tigers approach this trade deadline, especially being, having one of the best records in baseball. And you made, in my opinion, one significant move that will be, beneficial for your team, and that's Kyle Finnegan. So, hopefully they get a series win tonight. Skubal on the mound tonight. And I believe it is Charlie Morton tomorrow on Sunday Night Baseball. On Sunday Night Baseball,
as he should be.
So, Charlie Moe, as the kids are calling him these days. But Jeff, there was football this week. There was Detroit Lions football this week, and you guys were live for that. Wasn't the most exciting game in the world. The Lions looked sloppy. 5 turnovers for the Lions. Quarterback play was not the greatest, but there were some good things to take out of this game. And again, it's preseason game, Hall of Fame. You got no starters playing in this game. What were some good takeaways you took from this Lions preseason game?
Okay, let me start by saying this. All right, I look at preseason like this. The result of the game, I don't necessarily care about. I don't really. I mean, maybe you look at a blowout loss and go, ugh, not ideal. But overall, I don't really care. I've mentioned this, and everyone knows this. It's been repeated thousands and thousands of times. When the Lions went 0-16, they went undefeated in the preseason. So the preseason does not matter, okay? The result does not matter. What matters is player evaluation, because we found out last year just how important it could be to have your second stringers not be completely trash, because you had basically an entire defense of second stringers. So God forbid you don't have to go through that again. But we know that is always a possibility that you have injuries, and guys that are in the preseason right now could be contributing for you in the regular season in massive games. Like, for example, the game against the Vikings to win the division, and you have Ezekiel Turner out there, all due respect to him, but you have guys that are playing in the preseason right now that played last year. So I look at player evaluation. I think that's what's important when looking at these games. I thought the thing that surprised me in that preseason game is some of the things that Dan Campbell and the Lions, just the standard they set with taking care of the football, creating turnovers, disciplined football. They didn't show any of that. So I think that's Dan. I don't have any doubts that he's going to correct that. I think that was probably the biggest shock. I mean, Grant Stewart fumbling the ball, butt fumble to start the game. That's tough, and then they jump off sides. Trevor Nowaski's lined up essentially over the left tackle. It's like, what are we doing? It's like shit like that. It's what are we doing? I will say, from a player standpoint, what I loved in I think the biggest storyline has to be Isaac Tesla. I think what he showed, that dude is NFL ready. Like he's not you can look at the stats at Arkansas and say, maybe nope, he's ready. He checks all the boxes physically, mentally. He's big. He's 6'3", 6'4", runs a 4.4, hands catcher. Like, that dude is going to compete for Tim Patrick's spot earlier. I think he'll get the nod because he's a vet. But by the end of the year, those two guys will be essentially, I think, on the same level of competing. Like, at first, it's going to be the Tim Patrick, like, hey, we're giving you the nod. But by the end of the year, you're going to be like, how do we keep this dude off the field? He can do it all. He can run, block. And I personally think with Isaac Tesla out there, it raises your offensive ceiling. That's what I believe, because he can do more. He's faster. I mean, he can burn you deep. He gets separation. He can block. Like there's nothing that you look at Isaac Tesla and say, like he is a liability here. There's not really anything, he can play the X, the Y, the Z. You can move him around. Like I think Johnny Morton's going to love him. So I thought the biggest takeaway for me, there's a multiple, but I'll start with him, Isaac Tesla, man. You could play him a little bit more, but you ain't going to find out anything more. What he is. I mean, if he doesn't play the rest of the preseason, I have no problem. He's fine. We know what he is.
I think Isaac Tesla is not just a player that's going to show us flashes as a rookie. I think he's going to be a legitimate impact player on this offense. Again, him and Tim Patrick are going to compete for that wide receiver 3 position, but he looked legit. Like you said, he can run. I mean, Jeff, when I was looking at that screen, he looks like he's 7 feet tall.
Big dude.
Looking at that TV, dude, he's big, he's fast. He has the makeup of just a really good receiver. And I've seen, and our guy Klotz, he made a post about it. I've seen some Puka Nacua comps. Look, Puka Nacua is one of the NFL's best wide receivers, but I see resemblance between Isaac Tesla and Puka Nacua. But we do have a question here, and what sucks for Isaac Tesla, or I guess at least that game, is there wasn't great quarterback play out of this team. And the Detroit Fan Man says, now that football is back, or now that it's football time again, will Friday versus Atlanta reveal its week 1's QB2? Reveal if week 1's QB2 is currently on the roster. And let me say this about the quarterback play. I know I just knocked it, but these guys have been practicing for how long, Jeff? In Johnny Mo's new offense? Like half a month in training camp?
Yeah, I mean, they've been installing for the last couple weeks. Yeah, they've been.
I mean, that's a difficult situation to put any quarterback in.
I was told a lot of it's the same.
That's true.
So let's be consistent here, huh? Come on, people.
It's
the same offense. So there you go. There should be no time. There should be no struggle. It's essentially the same offense. So I say that sarcastically, but that's what people are saying to me. So we're just going to roll with that. It's the same offense. They should be fine. Right.
To answer his question, let's say if Hendon Hooker and Kyle Allen go out there against Atlanta in the preseason and they piss down their leg again, are we looking at an external fix for the QB2 position? And this is funny. I feel like this is a conversation every single year for the Detroit Lions. It was last year, bringing in another quarterback to back up Jared Goff. But do you think if Hendon Hooker and Kyle Allen do not perform again next week, that it might be an external move?
Yeah. If this is what I would do. All right. You go watch that preseason game against the Falcons. And if Kyle Allen shits the bed again, if I'm Dan Campbell, I'm gonna say, hey Kyle, come over here. I just called you an Uber. Get your shit. Car's outside.
Sure.
It's taking you to the airport, and I never want to see you again. That's what I would do if I'm Dan Campbell. All right. Hendon Hooker, I'm willing to give a little bit of grace to, because not that I'm saying, if he doesn't play well, it doesn't mean he's quarterback too. But what I mean is, if you want to keep him on the roster, because however you look at it, he's in his 3rd year, he's going into his 2nd year. You want to be patient with him? Fine. You want to allow him to keep developing? Fine. You still need to go get better competition at QB2. Like, I think in an ideal world, Kyle Allen obviously gets Uber to the airport. He's gone.
Yep.
They bring in Carson Wentz. Apparently he's coaching now, but you go get a backup quarterback that's out there, or maybe you trade for one, whatever you want to do. And you have Jared Goff, that backup, and Hendon Hooker. So that way, Hendon, you're not in a position where it's like, hey, we during the regular season, it's a must-win game, and we're throwing Hendon out there for his first start ever. Now, coaching staff has a better idea than we do. I don't know. Listen, I know people are going to say this is crazy, but let's just say Hendon plays well the rest of the preseason, and they look at him like, this guy's ready. So be it. But based on game 1, he did not look ready. He wasn't in a fair position, but he did not look ready. So they still need to go get better competition. I don't think I'm going to learn a lot more about what they have, to be honest. Maybe I'll learn that Hendon can play a little bit more. Because I've been a big Hendon Hooker guy. I still got faith he can be decent backup, but I don't think I'm going to learn anything more about Kyle Allen, dude. He's all due respect. He's been on 7 rosters in 7 years, whatever the number is. He has almost as many turnovers as touchdowns. Like, we kind of know what Kyle is. if you're looking for someone to take care of the ball, it's not really necessarily his strength. Like the most games he started was like 13 one year, and he had 17 TDs to 16 picks. It's like, I'd rather have CJ Beathard, like whoever the hell's
What a
out
name.
there.
What a name.
Yeah, Tommy DeVito, someone. But yeah, this game this week is important, but we kind of already know the answer, man. I mean, I know Dan was trying to give Kyle Allen some love, and he's like, well, besides the 2 picks, I thought he operated the offense very well. I was like, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, a guy like Hendon Hooker, I think Hendon Hooker is uber talented. I think he has all the talent in the world. He just has to put everything together to be a solid back.
And he said, by the way, like I'll defend Hendon Hooker and Kyle Allen. I'll say it to both. Like I don't want to be biased, but they both had good camps. Like Hendon Hooker in camp has looked really good by all accounts. Like we talked to Nolan Bianchi from the Detroit News, Corey Woods from MLive.com, Jeremy Reisman as well, prior to Detroit. All of them has said the same thing. Like Hendon Hooker's looked good. He's actually looked like the better quarterback in camp. So
yeah, well, I know this gets brought up a lot when it comes to Hendon Hooker and kind of where we see kind of this organization, how they feel about him.
Mm-hmm.
That playoff game, Jared Goff goes down for, I think it was one play. It was that one play touchdown by J-Mo, and Teddy Bridgewater, who was a math teacher at the time, went into the game instead of Hendon Hooker. So I don't know if it was like a Ben Johnson thing where Ben Johnson really didn't like Hendon Hooker, or if it's like an organization thing. Like
I think it was an experience thing. I do. I think they were like, hey man, if Jared Goff goes down, we don't want a guy to start in a playoff because they got him right before. When did they get him? Right before what? The playoffs.
Yeah. Especially
Especially in a team that you thought could win a Super Bowl. Or I didn't think they could, but people still believe that. You want to get someone that has played, like, experienced. And that's been confirmed by different journalists. Me and Booner have argued about that. That's how I feel about it. Because, again, if he's that bad, why not get better competition at quarterback? Like they think he can beat out Kyle Allen. I still think they should get better competition. But, yeah. I think that had to do with just confidence and, like, this guy's first ever start could be in a playoff game if we need him to.
Yeah.
Not ideal, not ideal.
Yeah. One more comment I want to get to here about the Detroit Lions. The cornerback depth isn't a problem anymore. Rock your shit. Nice nickname there is CB3. Meek doesn't count because he's a slot corner.
Rock your
shit.
I
like it. I like it. But Rock Ya-Sin made some plays.
He shouldn't play, by the way.
No, he shouldn't play.
We know
he shouldn't play. Now, you guys talked about it a little bit yesterday on the show. A guy in Ennis Rakestraw, who I was very excited going into this year, struggled with injuries last year. When we drafted him in the second round last year, I thought he was going to get some serious playing time before he got hurt. I know he was competing for that nickel spot a little bit last year in training camp, and struggled with injuries, all that stuff. The best thing that could have happened for maybe not necessarily the best thing that could have happened for Rakestraw, but his career maybe is the Lions bringing in Avonte Maddox and Rock Ya-Sin so he can compete a little bit and force himself to get better, essentially. And not a great game from Ennis Rakestraw. Honestly, pretty disappointing. He got beat on that 20-yard catch the other night. So I mean, Ennis Rakestraw is a guy I'm definitely going to keep an eye on the rest of this preseason, because I think he's going to continue to play, Jeff, because I think Ennis Rakestraw definitely has something to prove. Absolutely has something to prove. So I think he's going to continue to play in this preseason and get some serious playing time. That's a guy I'm definitely keeping an eye on, because I want him to be good so bad. I mean, could you imagine having, in the future, having Terrion and Ennis Rakestraw both on the outsides, two guys you drafted in the same draft class? I mean, that would be absolutely electric. But yeah, Ennis Rakestraw, not a great game for him.
He gets the benefit of the doubt because of who drafted him. Like our eyes can show us one thing, but if Bob Quinn drafted him, we'd be like, this guy is a bust. You know? But with Brad Holmes, it's like, well, there's got to be something, right? Like there's got to be something, and I'm rooting for him. Brian Branch said the other day, like he's got all the skills, it's just staying healthy. We didn't see the skills on Thursday. No. I mean, he got burnt by a rookie receiver. He got not like toasted. So I really hope he blossoms into what he's supposed to be, because I think physically he's got a lot of things I like with Ennis. I do. I'm rooting for him. But based on what we've seen, man, not good. If you're not available, what are you anyway? It doesn't even matter, honestly. Who cares?
Exactly. We got another super chat here, $2. Thank you so much. Tev Sauce 2 was Connor Stallions at the Hall of Fame game. Yeah, I think he was on the Chargers sideline, and that's why we got blown out. I think he was stealing our plays. That's a great point, Tev Sauce. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. Make sure Connor Stallions is on no NFL sideline this year.
Yeah, Kyle Allen he lost before he even stepped on the field because of Connor Stallions already knew what Kyle Allen was going to do.
He was disguised in something. Definitely a pair of sunglasses, maybe a fake beard. Jeff, let me ask you this. If you were, and this is an odd question, but it's a Connor Stallions related question. If you had to disguise yourself and look like someone different, what kind of outfit would you throw on? Would it be like a beard shave and like a?
So what I would do is I'd probably go mutton chops.
Sure.
I think that would have to be something just absolutely crazy, like maybe the mutton chops, shaved head. Like shaved head, like I'm basically bald, like the game.
Well, again, this is a disguise, not necessarily a.
Or I'd get long hair, like rock star hair, like a wig. Yeah,
but okay, back to going bald. This is a disguise, unless you want to go bald.
No. I'm listen. I'm not drawing attention to myself. I have to look completely different. I would have to have like the wig with long hair.
Yeah.
Mutton chops, and then I think that might do it. I think that would be pretty.
I think
impressive.
you could do it.
It's like who's this guy with mutton chops and just absolute lavish hair? They wouldn't even know it's me.
Because
know.
Connor. You look at I think it was the Central Michigan game or something where those pictures of Connor Stallions got taken. What a pathetic fucking excuse for trying to disguise yourself. Hey man, when I look at you, I'm gonna go up and shake your hand and say, "Nice to meet you, Connor Stallions," because that's who you looked like. You didn't look like anybody else.
You know what you need? It's the glasses with the nose on it.
Oh, you with the eyebrows too?
Yeah.
It works in like cartoons and stuff. And why would it not work in real life?
Mr. Potato Head didn't it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like those things. Yeah, that's what I would rock.
Well, yeah, Connor Stallions was definitely at that Hall of Fame game. Now, chat. I want you guys to get involved here in this final segment. This was kind of we talked about it in the beginning of the show, and I think this is going to be a fun little thing we're going to do. Boone, and I'll say this: I love Boone to death. He is not allowed to participate in this. He is not allowed to participate in this because of how mean he was when I gave the idea, essentially. But he was on a 24-hour fast, so I'll cut him some slack. He was a little bit cranky. Chad, I want you to think in your head right now of how many famous people named John you know. And me and Jeff and you guys are going to put together a Mount Rushmore for guys named Jeff.
Wait.
Does that sound fair?
Wait.
Not guys named Jeff.
John.
Not guys named Jeff. Named John.
Okay. I was going to say that changes the list. It changes the list.
It does.
I am fired up about this.
Do we want to do a wheel? Do we want to do a wheel spin, or we kind of just pick where we want to go?
Do it. Let's do a quick wheel spin. Make it interesting. Here, I'll do it.
Okay. You know what, Unk? I know, or Gentry. I know you. Why don't you be the voice of reason in the chat? So you'll be the speaker of the house essentially. So you'll kind of tally up what kind of pick they want, and then you'll give us the deciding factor, right?
So is the chat involved in this one?
The chat is involved in this one.
So it's going to be me, you, and chat.
Yes.
All right. So this is the wheel. Let's do. Is it? It's all right. This is
Saturday mornings with Crunch Time Sports. We're gonna do a Mount Rushmore Johns, and nobody's gonna focus on me.
Gentry's participating too.
Yeah. So Gentry's gonna be the voice of reason for the chat. He's going to be the speaker of the house.
He's basically going for the chat. Okay.
Yes.
So Gentry gets the number one pick then, or he gets to pick where he wants to go.
Yeah, Gentry. Again, you have to communicate with the chat. Do you want the first, second, or third pick? I mean, he's just giving us nothing right now.
Yeah, he's just got to just join the show, Gentry. All right, who cares about your sty, dude? All right, get the hell out. I mean, what is this guy doing? This guy's using Braille. I mean, how's he communicating right now? Come on.
Steve Lehman said third.
All right, we're spinning it
We
again.
want first pick. He said we want first pick.
All right, they want the first pick. Well, I got to get rid of chat. I just spun it with chat in there still.
Yep.
All right, let me get rid of this. All right, Caleb.
Okay, sure. I'll take 3. I'll take the turn. I'll take 3.
All right. So we
All right.
have
So again, this is people named John. It could be anybody. You guys know a lot of Johns. All right. This is a draft for people named John. Chat, you get the first pick. You get the first pick. Jeff gets the second pick. Caleb gets the third pick. Mount Rushmore.
all right.
4 picks each. Guys
Hey.
named John.
The draft has began.
Booner, I couldn't let this idea slip away. I couldn't let this idea slip away. We have to do it.
Yeah, it's,
Johnny on the spot. That's a good one by Phil.
Oh, that's funny.
All
All right. Well, Gentry's gonna have to pick for the chat because
Yeah.
if there's no chat suggestions, then he'll just have to pick a John. He'll just have to roll. Okay, so Gentry submits his opinion and said John Daly.
John Daly.
Yeah, John Daly. That's I didn't want to say it, but that's someone you could argue for one. John Daly. I think that's a good. It's not a bad one there. At
John
all.
F. Kennedy by Here's Johnny. John Candy.
John Candy. Oh, John F. Kennedy. John Legend. Oh, John Legend on here. John Madden. There's some. I mean, there's a lot of different Johns, man. See, they're already coming in. There's different Johns. The Johns are firing away. Gentry, you got to. Hey, you got to pick one.
You're the voice. You're the
one.
voice of reason.
Gentry's gonna have to pick maybe the most typed one. Well, okay. Gentry said they will take John F. Kennedy.
Wow. Okay. The number one overall pick in the John draft. John F. Kennedy.
Hey, you know what? That plays right in my wheelhouse because Team Jeff, we're going with we're taking John Cena, number 2 overall.
I mean that.
Hey, come on. Hey, come on, man.
No, I like it.
John Cena's got it. That he probably could have argued number 1. John Cena.
All right. Love for Noah says John Wilkes Booth. Do they keep coming out of the woodwork? But Jeff, this is one that we haven't talked about, and I'm surprised you haven't brought up yet. with my third pick, I'm going to take Johnny Cash, Johnny Paycheck, Johnny Cash. I think that's a pretty good pick there.
That's a solid pick right there, Johnny Cash. Okay,
this is where. Oh, he's still on the board. Okay, I'll take John Daly as well. So I go John Daly, Johnny Cash.
Okay, all right.
How are you going to follow up John Cena?
I got this. Okay, so I've talked to my team, and I think what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna go and select one of the famous Johns. And I already saw it in there. We're taking Johnny Bravo. We're taking Johnny Bravo. I told you this. And cartoon characters count. We're taking Johnny Bravo.
I got. There's no rules in this. There's no rules in the Mount Rushmore of John. There's not one singular
Bravo.
rule.
I told you that before the show,
and
we're doing it.
Mike, I'm going to say this. You're the speaker for the chat, and I'm seeing a lot of John Wayne Gacy's in here. So, I mean, you're going to have to make that decision.
Yeah,
but if that's what they want, that's what
people want, it is what it is. It is what it is. All John Cena and Johnny Bravo. I mean, I'm putting pressure on you. I am putting pressure on you. And the chat. John Macaroon.
It's a good one. John, no, you can't, dude. I saw more John Wayne Gacy's.
John Wick.
The John Wick's a good one, but I think I saw more John Wayne Gacy's. But it's fine. It's fine. John Wick. And now you get the pick at the turn. Now you get the pick at the turn. Johnny Drama from Entourage from our back.
Johnny Drama from Entourage. This guy's a dude. John Wayne. Hey, John Macaroon. There's some macaroons in there. I'm telling you. Don't sleep on the DOC.
And there's only 12 picks. I'm telling you right now, some Johns are going to get screwed out of this. Like, there's going to be some Johns that 100% deserve to be picked, and they're not going to be picked. So how will the chat and Gentry follow up JFK and John Wick?
Wait, they took John Wick? That was the pick? Okay, that's a good pick. Johnny Kane. Oh, that's the
chat. Gentry, I'm seeing a lot of John Wayne Gacy's here.
What's going on with the John Wayne Gacy's today, man?
Dude, there's a ton of them. There's a million of them.
You sick sons of bitches, man. I mean, it's a very popular John, so
it is.
You know, I can't argue with it. People want macaroon. I mean,
they want macaroon. Macaroon sells tickets.
Yeah, I know. Gentry wants. We will take the dog. John Macaroon. Wow. So the people on the desk, it's like Joel Klatt and all them are like, wow, we did not expect him to go this early. But he did. Doc is good with the doc. John Macaroon. All right. That puts me up.
That's you.
I am going to select John Travolta with the next pick. Give me John Travolta, man.
It's a good pick.
Yeah, I mean, Grease? Come on.
You would be a guy that looks Grease, man.
Come on, man.
All right, here.
Go on.
I think here, I mean, I could go a couple different ways here, but I'm going to, you know what, I'll do this. I'm going to go John Candy with one of my picks. Uncle Buck.
Oh, wow.
Uncle Buck.
Yeah.
And then, you know, this is not going to be the popular pick because there's a lot of popular names left on this board, but this is probably my favorite musician ever. Grew up on this guy. I'm going Mr. John Mayer. My fourth pick. One of the most underrated guitarists maybe to ever step foot on this earth. And he dated, picture every hot celebrity you know, John Mayer dated him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he did.
So to round out my Mount Rushmore, Johnny Cash, John Daly, John Candy, John Mayer.
So I have the next pick?
Yeah, the next pick.
I can't, honestly, Caleb, I can't believe that this person fell to me.
I know who you're going to take, and I agree.
I don't think you do.
I do.
Team Jeff, give me Johnny Knoxville. Give me Johnny Knoxville.
Mm-hmm. That's not who I thought. But that's a good pick.
I'm taking Johnny Knoxville. Come on. The real ones know.
That's a good pick. So to round out Jeff's Mount Rushmore, John Cena, Johnny Bravo, John Travolta, and Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, that's a stacked
team.
That's a stacked squad, man.
All right.
Come on. Johnny Morton.
John Morton. Now, okay, can I give them some people still available just so I could really preface how many Johns there are, or should I wait till after?
There's Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp,
That's
John Krasinski, John
Belushi.
Legend, John
Belushi.
Stamos. Gentry wants Johnny Depp. Eddie Murphy. Ted E, this is only for Johns. This is
no Eddie Murphy. No, Eddie Murphy. If there was Eddie's, he would go number one.
Yeah, Eddie, he would be number one. Maybe like Eddie House. I think he was like a forward for the Celtics. Yeah. Is it John Cougar Mellencamp?
John Cusack. I mean, there's Johnny Cage.
Johnny Damon, former Tiger. Shout out. Johnny Depp. Levin says Johnny Cage.
John Wall. John Wall. Why is it John Wall? Like, no one's considering John Wall, man. I mean, he's probably on the lower end tier. I mean, he's a 7th rounder in this draft.
Yeah, no. If we did a full 7-round mock draft, John Wall would be like where you would take him in the fourth, like the fifth or sixth round, and people are like, oh, that's a good pick.
That's a good pick, John Wall. Yeah.
John Sally, John Harbaugh. All right. What are we feeling here, chat?
Oh, John Walsh. Steve Lehman. He's toast America's Most Wanted, John Walsh. That's a bull. John Walsh. John Harbaugh.
They will take John Harbaugh. That's what Crunch Time said. Elton John. Would we have allowed this?
I think we would have to consider it.
Yeah, I think you would have to.
Yeah,
so they're going to take John Harbaugh. So here are the three teams. I'm going to send this out. I might even post it on my personal Twitter to see.
Do like a poll or something, like the teams, and put the poll in there.
We got Team 1, which is the chat. John F. Kennedy, John Wick, John Macaroon, and John Harbaugh. Team 2, which is Jeff, John Cena, Johnny Bravo, John Travolta, and Johnny Knoxville. It's a good team.
That's a banger team, man.
Team 3, Johnny Cash, John Daly, John Candy, John Mayer.
It's not bad, you know.
It's a good team. It's a good team.
It's not bad.
Well, chat, it was a hell of a ride. It was a hell of a ride today.
That's a hell of a John list.
Maybe we'll do a new name next week.
James, this is an awesome segment. See the people of John.
It's a hell of a John list. I mean, we could have done 10 rounds of this, Steve Lehman. I'm telling you, there's so many Johns left on the board. Stamos. Did anybody take Johnny Depp? John Krasinski, Jim from The Office. Are you familiar? Yeah. I mean, there's so many of these left. John Wall, like Jeff said. Well, chat, we appreciate it. That was fun. And yeah, I mean, maybe next week we'll do like Wills or something. I don't know. We'll see. A different name.
Wills. To Greg.
That was the first name I thought of.
Hey,
the first name I thought of.
I mean, there's some good ones. All right.
We'll bind them.
Yeah.
We don't All right, Chad. Jeff, thank you so much for coming on this week, Saturday mornings with Crunch Time. Make sure to follow us on our socials at Official CT Pod, I believe it is, on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. Make sure to buy some merch. Make sure to subscribe. Mm-hmm. We're at 14.3 right now. Let's get to 15, chat. Let's get to 15.
Let's do it.
But yeah, hope everybody has a fantastic weekend, and go Tigers for the rest of the weekend. They got 2 games coming up. So
Charlie Moe
on Sunday. Charlie Moe on Sunday. I'll catch you guys on the flip side, the kids say.
Peace
out.